What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the January book haul video on the King Crusoe YouTube channel. Obviously, this one's going to be a little bit of a small one if you saw the timestamp in the corner of the video before clicking on it. This one can barely be considered a haul. It matches the size of, I believe, my previously smallest book haul sometime in, I want to say it was somewhere around September of 2022. I believe that haul was real small as well. So this one I will be showing a little bit of something extra to fill in a little bit of that space and to give a tiny bit of preamble to one of the items that I acquired. Speaking of which, I might as well just start off and get into item number one, even though it might do me some good to ramble on a little bit to expand how long this video is. But of course, if I don't need the video to be very much longer, I'm not going to make it as such. Now, a book series that my father read many years back that he really enjoyed was one called Prelude to Glory. And sorry, these covers are going to be real shiny, so they're going to reflect a lot of the light from behind the camera. This is book one called Our Sacred Honor. These books are, I believe, they're historical fiction. Technically speaking, they're historical fiction based off of the Revolutionary War and a lot of other stuff going on at that time in America. I think they're primarily considered historical fiction because there are occasional chapters or scenes that take place that were made up by the author to fill in some gaps in between stuff that we do know or other whatnot, stuff like that. But based off of what I know, it is meant to be as historically or factually accurate to the stuff that happens as it can be, while, like I said, expanding and making up a couple of things just to expand on the story of it. It actually was a series that, like I said, my father read many years ago. I want to say it was probably a decade ago or something like that, so I was pretty young at the time, but I remember him loving it. He loved it enough that my mom got him these first 6 books that I've shown off in the video up to this point for Christmas at one point, like I said, probably close to a decade ago or something like that. But apparently there was more than 6 books. In fact, like, it took me until about a year ago before I learned that there were more than 6 books. Once I did, I started scouting around on Amazon and other places for copies of the last 3, which were the first 3 books that I acquired in January of 2023. This is book 7, The Impending Storm. While I was doing, my surfing and searching around for these 3 books, A More Perfect Union, Volume 8. All right, let me try to get that to show off a little bit better. While I was surfing around for these 3 books, I would find copies plenty, but they would usually be like $45 or $60 or something like that, and they would still be used. I was like, I'm not going to trust that. I'm not going to spend that much money on something that I don't know for sure how good quality it's going to be. And then this is book 9, the final book in this series. But relatively recently, like I said, in January, I did actually find good deals on all 3 of these, where instead of being 45 or 60 bucks a piece for used, I found all 3 of them for new, and all of them were 2 of them were $20, one of them was like 30, and they were all new, and they were all fulfilled by Amazon, so they weren't being sold and shipped by a third party who I wouldn't know for sure. I've never had issues with items fulfilled by Amazon when it comes to shipping. Well, I've had a couple, but they've been relatively minor, all things considered. So when I found these, I was like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and grab those because they look nice, and I'm not disappointed. They were all in very good condition. In case you couldn't tell, like, they're all in pretty much just as perfect condition as the first 6 are, up to the point that this last one, Volume 9, was still wrapped in its original plastic wrapping that individual books sometimes come in. So yeah, I'm very happy about that. And now that I have the full collection, I can someday choose to read them because they have always been a bucket list item for me. Even during the years that I was not reading, I would often debate on if I wanted to read them. But then I decided that I didn't, obviously. But I do love historical fiction, and I've always, loved most facets of learning about American history, specifically in the Revolutionary War, is stuff that I always loved learning about, and reading these books is something that I am sure I would get a kick out of. So that was item number 1 through 3, I guess, technically, that I got were books 7 through 9 of Prelude to Glory by Ron Carter. I mostly just wanted to complete the family collection, like I said, and found a good deal. And now is for the second set of items that I obtained this month, these being special editions just for me. These are the first 2 books of Mistborn Era 2 by Brandon Sanderson. So those being The Alloy of Law and Shadows of Self. And I'm actually kind of surprised by the quality of these. Most of the others, you can tell that they're supposed to be like an imitation type of leather, and they're like a rather glossy and whatnot. These have a slightly more felty, more cloth-like texture and appearance to them, so they look a little bit more like they're made from a felty type of leather rather than the imitation that some of the other copies are from. These look rather nice. I cannot wait for the last 2 books to eventually come out at some point in these leather-bound editions, just so that I can further continue and complete my Brandon Sanderson leather-bound collection, as is all the stuff that he has published in these editions with Dragonsteel. They're all on the shelf. So, in fact, if I put these on the shelf, yeah, it pretty much completes the collection up to this point. But that is the second set of items that I obtained in January. There was supposed to be one other item where, if you watched my January reading wrap-up and February TBR video just a couple days ago at the time of this video's release, you know what one of those items that was supposed to ship is, but did not arrive in time for me to be able to include in this book haul. That's fine. I'll be able to show it off in the next book haul, but if you want to know what that is, you can watch that reading wrap-up and TBR, and you'll know for sure what it was at the end of that video. Or close to the end of that video, I guess, based off of what I'm supposed to be reading this month in February. And then there was also one other item that was supposed to come, but based off of certain logistics on the production side of it, did not arrive in time. Some of you guys who watched last month's book haul probably have a very good idea of what that item that did not ship yet, or at least did not arrive at my location, is, but that will also be shown off in next month's book haul video, just because, you know, didn't come here in time, and that's fine. I'm perfectly fine with having a few shorter videos like this every once in a while. So thank you for coming around and watching this short book haul video and letting me ramble about stuff that didn't really matter up until the point that I got the books that I actually received, but that's fine. Thank you guys for watching. I'll be back again. Today's Thursday. What is my next video? I'll be back on Tuesday, I believe, with I'm not actually sure off the top of my head what video that is going to be, but I will be back on Tuesday with another episode of the Book Binge, just like always. So stick around for that. Thank you guys for watching. I'll be back again in the next video.